Hi, welcome back to another Morbid Sunshine. And we discussed last time some aspects of his victims, his connections. We're talking about the Epstein case. We're not just talking about the Epstein case in my case. We're talking about the individuals that we have learned and what I've learned through. And first one I'm going to talk about is Leon Black. Leon Black was a friend of Epstein's. He had him on his balance sheets doing his bookkeeping in 2012. He's in charge of global management Apollo. And David Blaine appears in the Black Book quite a few times. I'm going to list off people who've been in the Black Book more than 10 times under different names. I'm not interested in. Also, Doug Band, Tony Blair, the Sultan of Brunei. He has a colourful background history. He once kidnapped and enslaved a woman. In 2014, Epstein hung out with Bill Gates and Leon Black and Thomas Pritzker and Mortimer Zuckerman for a dinner in 2014. So he still was talking to people after his conviction, and people knew of his conviction at the time. I feel that there's more to come, so just bear with me. Sergey Brin, the Google co-founder of 2004 and 2007, was advised by Epstein, like a tax shelter type of situation, perhaps. I have no insight into his tax affairs yet, but perhaps I'm going to look back on these people with a little bit more detail. The First Lady of the Virgin Islands had a lawsuit against JP Morgan. Cecil de Jong, she worked for Epstein. Her husband was serving as a governor in the Virgin Islands in 2007 to 2015. And it was 2008 when Epstein was convicted in Florida. They were good friends with him. They arranged for university courses to be built there. Arranged for set-up visas for Epstein's girls, Epstein's victims. The reason the information isn't getting released is possibly due to the ties of Israel and Saudi Arabia. I have no idea what is inside there. Ehud Barak used to be the Israeli Prime Minister and was a guest in Epstein's townhouse. Once a month, he used to go there to Epstein's house. Now, why would Barack go there so often to see him? He says that the reason he went there was for the culture and the art world. He never met up with minors, he said, and there was no improper conduct. That was not to say there weren't underage girls present. He never said that. These people have a way of putting their words. In 1980, Epstein used a foreign passport, a different name. And why? Well, he says, the reason was that he was Jewish and because he was travelling to Saudi Arabia at the time. But who in 1980 had access to that sort of thing? I don't know. The DOJ are saying that Epstein had all these victims himself, but it doesn't sound like a blackmail haul at all to me. Listening to Wolf talk about his relationship with him, there was he said that he may have blackmailed Bill Gates at the time when he was in a relationship with a bridge player called Mila Antonova. Epstein knew about the affair. Gates met her at a bridge tournament. She once many set out bridge online course, and she got the funding for that, obviously being Bill Gates' mistress. Um, Boris Nokolov introduced them when she was doing a bridge tournament. He approached her to have a discussion to see if she would meet with Bill Gates, because of he had the excuse for the funding to meet her. The affair ended in 2017, and Epstein still contacted Bill Gates at that time, so there's no proof to say that Epstein was blackmailing him. Ron Burkle is all over the black book. Bill Clinton and Ron Burkle took a humanitarian trips in Epstein's jet in 1992, I think. There is all kinds of stories of Ron with prostitutes. It was believed he wouldn't have sex with the girls in fear of catching AIDS. Maxwell's now in a low security prison. She's transferred from Florida, a high security prison, to an open type prison in a Texas surrounding. But they were saying that she only went to jail for catering for Epstein. Now this proves no, more to it than that, obviously. In 2001, in 2007, the 53-page indictment was done on Epstein. I mean, he was facing serious jail time, but instead this lawyer got him 13 months in an open jail. Happens to be in Florida. That shut down the FBI probing into more victims, in my opinion, and also the other powerful people involved. They never get to even look at that because the victims were shut down. They never knew what was going on with the case at the time. Next one, I'm going to talk about the enablers and the customers. Your Bill Gates, your Woody Allen, Castro, Pope, Trump, Jojo, the houseman Jojo he constantly acknowledges it's all fake to Wolf. He talks about it to Wolf as he compliments his New York home, his 55,000-foot home. Meant everything for Epstein's hustle from Brooklyn to lower middle class Brooklyn boy to have the largest house in New York, something of a triumph for him. He made fun of people's expectations, a little like Trump did. But Epstein did with irony, according to Wolf expresses. In 2001, Bill Clinton, he started to show off because he was hanging around with Bill Clinton, and Bill Clinton was flying on his plane. There's pictures of him with Bill Clinton. He cultivated a target for his back then from becoming a political pawn. If you could talk to Epstein, you could talk to Clinton if you understood. Media missed opportunity, press into his personal life for him in 1996, then in 2007. One count of underage prostitution, 55-page indicted, filter redacted, and the governor or whoever was in charge, his contacts to get 13 months. Now, yeah, sounds suspicious, doesn't it? He built a respectability around himself. He got with Andrew to open up another level of social level. Andrew even spoke to him in 2010, again after the charges. The people he had around his table, the governor of Harvard, the media head of MIT, Leon Black, and MBS. He had an extraordinary life and avoided scrutiny in all level. Wolf explains. It doesn't Wolf explains it doesn't matter what he was being pursued by. He even had civil cases out there to prove that he had strong allegations against him, right? People forget to look at the civil suits in these cases a lot of the time. One of the lawyers had gone to jail even for suing over the victims, you know, so Epstein weren't afraid to get these people put in jail for even suing him. He had 75 lawyers on his case. He spent over £100 million on, dollars. He was supporting the South Florida bar, you know. These are good reasons, in my opinion, for why he didn't get probed more. Part of his problem was all of them had different opinions, his lawyers, so it created more of a problem for him. Manhattan is full of dubious figures. He doesn't get picked up until the Miami Herald in Florida. David Boies gets involved, and a miraculously amount of attention lures in. He reminds the Daily Beast says of Jimmy Savile case, his death, and then only afterwards people came to the surface again, but they were already there telling their story. And this is what goes on. Wolf's expressions was that these people who came to his house had assistants, like the girls were like the gallery girls in New York, well dressed, well kempt, young, pretty. You never paid much attention in it, perhaps. He didn't either. People gave him the benefit of the doubt after his convictions, thinking that he wouldn't be stupid enough to keep going with it. Well, of course, these people think they're above the law, like P. Diddy, Sean Combs, that Mike Jeffries, Jeffrey Epstein, you know, they think they're above the law. Media covers of this only when he gets convicted, really, you know. Wolf is questioning how he got in that position in the first place. He doesn't believe blackmail or anything like that was involved with his money. The Crown Princess in no way has connections to Epstein. Now, this might sound strange, but the Wayfarers, you know, remember that scandal? Well, I'm going to get into that a bit more in the next one and look at the conspiracy theory, looking behind it, looking at these articles raises more suspicion about other people, and I'll do that in my next part. But that's all for now, and we're going to talk more on the Princess of Norway's connections and Stanley Kubrick in the next one. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye. Morbid Sunshine.